So we'll watch through the action. %40. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rigged does not bet. Is there any point as Kayhan betting? If so, what kind of sizing? Like, what are the thoughts here?
Yeah, I think this hand is going to bet like quite often. What size did riggedeck bet the flop? Because I think you can like half pot range here. Okay, that's 40%. I would probably, yeah, just think about what size. Like, do I want to bet pocket sevens here? Maybe. I'd probably just bet like third pot. And ace nine of clubs, I would probably bet like pretty often. I think it's good. You got good equity. You're not going to get check shoved on very often, and like you get some like random overcards to fold. Ace 10's going to fold. Yeah, I think it's fine.
I got a question for you, because this spot tends to be something that comes up in all forms of poker pretty often, like paired board. The out of position player who has all the aces and other strong type of hands checks to you, and use a small sizing. Are they not supposed to start attacking this, because they're quite aware that you can bet, like an underpair, you can bet an 8, and these hands are very, very, very dead, when facing a small raise. So
yeah, I think
what's kind of the state of the game at the moment? Like, do people still bet this spot quite a lot? Because last time I played Hold'em, I feel like people bet these spots way too often. But they would just go range stabbing, small in position, figuring like they don't get raised often, etc., kind of trying to control the pot. But I don't know. It feels like at least it used to be done poorly. Is it now bet less often, or what's your opinion on that?
No, actually, I would say the meta is even almost a bet more often. But now, once you get check raise, you just call a guy down with pocket sevens sometimes, You don't just wait for jack, whereas like people used to. But now people will just people actually find some pretty light call downs here, but I wouldn't say they stab the turn less, in my opinion.
If you do bet here as Kayhan though, and you get somehow full shoved on you, you can't call, right? Or can you beat enough random other bluffs?
At 100 big blinds, I would call. At 120, I don't really know. I think on a paired board you probably can't I think you have to bet fold. But I just don't think you get check shoved on. It would surprise me a lot.
Kayhan is going to check back though. That's already kind of interesting. And the river pairs the 4, rigged 2.5x rip.
Oh. Definitely could be a good sizing. Like, I think riggedeck can probably jam pocket 9s here. Like, actually, I'm not sure if he will.
For value.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
like
very sick. Yeah.
Hard for Kayhan to ever have better, right? He's like, I don't think he checks the turn ever with a jack or with like pocket 10s or something. So I think in theory it's too thin, but in how people actually play, he could have pocket 9s here. And then he might just think that Kayhan's entire range is A6 here.
If Kayhan has made some sort of mistake and doesn't trap enough here and all this other kind of stuff, he basically can't ever have shit. Do you think he has to start calling some ace highs to this 2.5x shove?
I mean, if you did some kind of node lock so that he only ever checks the turn with unpaired hands, then yes, definitely. I think you would have to. And I mean, I guess he is going to call since he's in the thing.
Do you think he's going to be correct?
I mean, I think that he's obviously thought something about his clubs, right? And his 2 clubs unblock turn checks or something like that is what he's thought. And maybe he's thought he blocks ace jack and jack 9 of clubs and stuff.
Yeah, it could be, for sure. Riggedeck has clubs, but he does not have clubs. He does not have the jack of clubs though. So riggedeck looking for probably a check shove on the turn, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Expecting a
Or
lot
like a
of
check raise.
gut shots and maybe even king queen and stuff to stab in position. I don't know what he
Yeah,
was.
I don't like it from rig deck. River is like whatever. I think he correctly analyzed that Kayhan's gonna have like a lot of ace high here, but then he just got called by it anyway. I would have really liked the line if rig deck had pocket nines here, or like ace eight or something.
Oh,
Maybe not
that's
ace
so
eight, but like
disgusting.
king eight or something, or pocket tens, or even pocket kings or whatever. Then it's nice. But I guess if he wants to play balanced, sure, put in some low stuff too. But yeah. And Kayhan's call is like, yeah, whatever, I guess. I don't really know. I probably wouldn't have called, but like, yeah.
Nice. I was quite impressed watching this hand. The only thing I didn't fully understand was the rig deck thought. But I mean, he's quite creative, and a lot of people might struggle to have a check shove bluff. You know, especially if somebody sizes up on the turn, because turn pot was like 4K, and like you're saying, maybe imposition is stabbing small a lot. But what if he doesn't? You know, this ends up being like
Yeah.
quite a nice hand to rip. Like if he bets small, fine. Like he might have to only raise smaller, right? Like say Kayhan bets like 1K, 1200, whatever. He might have to raise to like 3K, or I don't even know what the right sizing would be. But it would be smaller, right? Because Kayhan's saying, hey, I have a pair, and he's saying, hey, your pair has fucking 2 outs.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess he's checked because he doesn't want to like double barrel and get shoved on with this hand with 7-6.
Would be
But like
tilting.
you don't really get shoved on here, so like I would just keep barreling, and you get so many folds from like king queen off and stuff, right? But I guess he thinks king queen off's gonna stab the turn and he can check raise, so like yeah, it's whatever. I think it's like
I think it's creative, which
strange spot.
is always interesting to see.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, you want to play some turn check raises, so like put some hands with equity if you want. But I would probably just check raise with like random total garbage.